Around the water side, I love the fish, we get them every day. In Jimmy, around the water side, love the fish, we get them every day. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk to the water side. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk to the water side.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIAN Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning into LIBERIAN Public Radio. Thank you. Please share this video. We have some serious conversation here tonight. Share this video for us, and we will be doing a lot of talking here tonight. So share the video. And we want to welcome all of you, as I stated. Thank you very much. Safety, Lord Jesus. We want to thank you again this evening. Lord, as we come here again to talk to our brothers and sisters, please give us wisdom. Lord, we also ask you to continue to bless us. Give the blessing that you continue to pour on all of us, to our brothers and sisters, so that they too will be blessed. So that they will understand and have the experience of your blessing. My Lord, your blessing is so wonderful. And I hope that everyone on earth will be able to experience that. My Lord Jesus, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for your protection. We want to thank you for the blanket of protection that you continue to provide to all of us. It doesn't matter where you come from. You even provide a blanket of love and protection to the man from Tour Town. Who else is not capable of getting that? Lord Jesus, we want to thank you. We also want to thank you this evening, my Lord, for giving us this opportunity to be able to provide for 2 tables. 1 table here in the diaspora, and we have another table back home in Liberia. We, the Liberian diaspora, continue to do that. And we want to thank you for the opportunity. We also want to thank you for the blessing that you continue to pour on us to be able to provide for the 2 tables. Thank you. Thank you, my Lord. You're just wonderful. We also ask you, my Lord, to continue to bless the leaders of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. We ask you, my Lord, to bless the host country of the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Folks, so we're going to be, hopefully, Mr. George is going to be joining me here very shortly. But let me just go on here. If you read the caption, which I know most of you have done, I'm going to be talking on 2 fronts here tonight. One is the collaborating political party, the whatever you want to call it, misstep or whatever they're back together. We don't know. I will go into that. We are also going to be discussing the lobbying fiascos, I will call it, by the government of the Republic of Liberia. I think I was on here I believe it was on Friday, and I was out here and making my case as a liberal. I wasn't here to insult anybody. These people are decent Liberians as far as I'm concerned. I just don't agree with them. But that does not make them to be somebody other than who they are. They are Liberians. I'm not going to sit here and try to degrade them because I don't agree with them. These are brothers and sisters. I don't agree with the way they carry about things, but that does not give me the right to insult and try to degrade and make them other than what they are, a human being just like myself. This is ridiculous, the way we go about doing this political advocacy and what have you. It is unacceptable to me, the liberal. I don't agree with Samuel Toy, Honorable that is, Honorable Samuel Toy. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with Honorable McGill. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with Honorable Jefferson Kochi. I don't agree with. And you guys those of you that watch me and continue to watch me, you have watched me take these people to tax before on several occasions, but not one do I call their name other than who they are, human beings. And because I don't agree with them, the way they govern our country does not give me right to insult. That is unacceptable in my character, in fact. And as a God-fearing person, that is not acceptable either. I will criticize, but I must do so with respect. I will criticize, but I must do so with responsibility and facture, if I may. And sometimes I'm going to speculate. So what? But that doesn't mean I'm going to insult anybody. Because I don't agree with you does not mean that you are less of a human being like any other. Please, this is not. And then when you finish, this we say Samuel 12, the Liberian need. We say McGill, the Liberian need. We say Jefferson Kochi, the Liberian. Then when you finish insulting them, then you want to bring them into your fold. You want to talk about them as being part of Liberia, and then you're calling yourself not insulting me, Samson Tor from Tor Town. I don't accept that. Unacceptable. So if you watch my show on Friday, I was out here and saying to the entire population, those that were listening to me, to say this was a fiasco. This lobby stuff that came up, especially me as a liberal, to watch my brothers and sisters to go and meet with the conservative. That is also unacceptable, but that's my preference. That's something that is not generally accepted either. That's my view. I don't accept it. But it was laughable, to be honest with you. Why would you leave from Liberia? Let me say what I told you guys Friday. Donald Trump is not coming back. He's done. Kapu, finito. He's not coming back. Not only that, but for them to go and have this, my brothers and sisters, this is what I'm making reference to. This is what I'm making reference to. You see this? Lady G, I call him. Lady G and McGill. Samuel Twe, Honorable Samuel Twe, Honorable McGill, by the way. Honorable Samuel Twe, Honorable Jefferson Kochi. Then Raphael, I call him Raphael. Then Honorable McGill. What are they going to get out of these people? Lady G, on the other hand, is someone who is not dependable. Those of us that are here in the diaspora, and that's why when I saw other brothers and sisters were following these people who come from Liberia, those who've been here in the United States and follow these people to do it, I was surprised. Lady G, senator from Carolina, used to be a good friend to McGee. I mean to McCain. And when Trump came out and insulted McCain as a former war prisoner of war, this is the guy. When he cried, I shed tears. To be honest, I'm a liberal. He's a conservative, but I shed tears because some of the things that he has done for this country that continue to provide safety for me and my family. This country continue to provide not just safety for me and my family, but because of the opportunity that is provided to me and my family, we're also able to help our brothers and sisters back home. So when he died, I cried. This is the man that was taken prisoner. He could have gotten out according to the story, but he refused. And they tie him hog tie, just like you would do during the war in Liberia. They used to do tabe, right? I don't know what that is because I've never gone through that before. And so when the man got out of the war, his hand could not, up to the time of his death, he could not stretch his hand above his head because of the war injury. And Donald Trump said he doesn't have no, I'm paraphrasing, have no regard, no respect for somebody who was captured in the war. And Lady G, who used to be friend with McCain, never distanced himself, never repudiated Donald Trump. Raphael, the Honorable Honorable Ted Cruz, Raphael. During the campaign, Donald Trump insulted him and his family. And in fact, even according to the story, accused Raphael's father of being someone who was responsible, a part of the crew that did the assassination on President Kennedy. And Raphael and Lady G right now, they are the outspoken person of Donald Trump. And do you really believe? Let's put politics aside. Let's put my liberal view one side. Of course, it's difficult to do, but I will try my best. But on a very serious note, do you think that you will come in this country as though you have not followed the American politics from Liberia? You call any baby in that water side right now, they will tell you about like American politics because the international the international community is connected. And you want to tell me, as educated as you are, highly educated, both all of you, do not know that Donald Trump is now president of the Republic of Liberia, of course. Donald Trump is now Donald Trump, please. Joe Biden is now president of the United States of America. And you know, up to this point, these two people always have issue trying to recognize Joe Biden. Joe Biden is in control of foreign policy. And you're going to go and meet with these two gentlemen to do what? The first flunky example you brought, all three of you. And I'm just saying all three of you. And any of you, if you're listening, you want to give me a call and dispute that. Like I said, I will take you guys to tax, but I will do so with respect. I will not insult you because I don't agree with you. That if I insult you, I'm insulting myself because you, as a Liberian, is my brother. But the first thing, when three of you decided to come in this country, you didn't bring no woman with you. Why didn't you bring some of the young ladies that are working in this government? You guys are so much full of yourself. It is unacceptable. I'll give you an example. This president, I keep saying this, and people say, well, I'm undercover CDC. I can be honored the best CDC. I don't care what you call me. I know who I am. I know what I'm for. So at this point of my life, there's nothing you're going to say that will move me. It doesn't move me a bit. I will be truthful. This president wasn't elected because of tremendous leadership ability. Far from it. Far from it. This president was duly elected based on popularity. And you three guys refuse to use this popularity to get exactly what we need in that country. Let's see what you're going to get out of here. Honorable Sir Joseph, when he came here, he started connecting with Liberians. Watch what he's going to take back. I don't agree with him either because of his seditious attitude and whatever. I don't agree with that either. But I will be truthful. Now you're here, you're meeting here and there. What are you going to be taking back? You see, you guys are so funny, all three of you. And it's laughable the way you guys behave. While you're here meeting with conservatives, those that are forcing, that are saying that they don't like, in fact, first of all, they hate immigrant, and there's no question of asked. Right now, the Haitian immigrant over there, because of your bad policy, President Biden is now falling into that trap and forgetting the liberal principle. But we know who Biden is. Biden is not truly a liberal anyhow. Biden was one of those that pushed the crime. I've been in this country since 1908. Let me tell you right now, Biden was one of those that were pushing the crime bill. Biden was the head of the investigating committee from the Senate that was responsible for bringing Thomas Clarence into the Supreme Court. So we know who Biden is. We know who Biden is. He's a true speaker, that is, for sure. But he's not a liberal like myself. He's a Democrat, but he's not a liberal. I would consider him Southern Democrat. And, the Blue Dog Democrat, they call themselves. We know who they are. But that's not the point. You're coming here to hand for handout. And this is what you have done. This is what I mean, that you guys refuse to use the popularity of the president of the Republic of Liberia. He left. Young man, he left. People say, the man no go. The man this, that. He went to ECOWAS meeting in Ghana. Before that, he got immediately after the coup. He got on the air. He said, we condemn the process because we don't respect, I'm paraphrasing, we don't respect violence. But however, we also should be looking at the process that brought this coup to power. You then use those kinds of things to establish yourself as somebody who is being led by the true democracy. Samuel 12 with a benevolent dictator. You think people are stupid? They don't know what you're doing? The man in Ghana, he was making a same point that while we do not support the coup process and what have you, but let us look at those who try to manipulate the Constitution to stay in power. How much more you want this young man to show to the world that he is on top as a democratic government? You come here, you don't even make more of it. You don't even talk about it. While you're here meeting with Lindsey Graham, Lady G, and Raphael, Dr. Weah is over there making the case for which all of us as liberal and democratic country or whoever we love believe that that was a true statement. Did you even come here and talk about it? No. No. You guys been here going to almost a week or so now. We will not see you on any of these platforms. You think we, the Liberian diaspora, you think we just stupid, we just supply every week, we send money back when we got no interest? Why you can't come meet with us sometimes? Explain to us. The chairman of Monoba, he didn't talk to nobody. You're going to a place and there was a debacle, the election, CDC election debacle happened on his watch. You're an educated person. Honorable Samuel to a highly educated. McGill, Honorable McGill, highly educated. Jefferson Kochi, as far as I'm concerned, highly educated because he can explain himself. Why can't you avail yourself to some of us to ask you a few questions about our country? We're going to come here and go meet who you want to meet with, take picture. That picture will speak for us. That picture will eat. That picture will be doing this, that. Man, I'll be serious, man. And so I'm a little bit surprised. And let me bring in my nemesis, I call him. We don't get along well. He's a central right. He's not far right. He's a central right, but he doesn't pull punches. He doesn't like my liberal view either. So you will see tonight, you're going to enjoy both of them. We're going to clash. And I'm warning you right now, we're going to clash. There's no question, Ice. But we will do so with respect. We will do so with respect for one another's view. His view will be respected. My view will be respected. Let me bring in Mr. Amon George. Mr. George.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So I'm out here saying that this and here's another thing, and this is what I'm going to. You and I are going to have a divergent view. Let's put it that way, because I also reading that the opposition are now in a business of paying $180,000 to a man who used to be a lawyer for Charles Taylor. Man, the whole thing is just black. Mr. Joyce, I'm wondering, because you've been out here on this public forum, well, not that you are a strong supporter of the opposition, but your views seem to be skewed towards certain individual within the opposition. And I'm not pulling punches on that. So I'm wondering, what do you make of, first of all, the government sending people here and meeting with Lindsey Graham, and who are called Lady G, and Honorable Ted Cruz, who are called Raphael? What do you make of that?
Let me say this. It's not bad for any government to love it, especially African government. They do that all the time to come to the West to meet the President of the United States. So it's not bad for government to love it. But you have to look at, and most of the time when they love it are done, they are doing it with the party that is in power, mainly. Because that is that party the one that making the foreign policy decisions. So I don't know how many Democrats they met with, because if you are meeting with Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Texas, Ted Cruz from Texas, what is the rapport with the Biden administration? Those I think first you have to look at. Yeah, you can make a case to them if you want to, but what is the rapport with the Biden administration? They don't have no influence on the Biden administration. I think Lindsey Graham, though he sit on the foreign regional armed committee, he sit on the Ted Cruz, but they don't have any rapport with for Biden administration. So I wonder what was the need of them meeting with them. And on the Democrat side, I thought, maybe I don't know what they are met with. But on the Democrat side, maybe if he says people meeting with Democrat, I expect Senator like Senator Dick Devon or Sherrod Brown of Ohio, maybe Elizabeth Warren. These are strong.
Mr. George, enough of this kumbaya stuff here. That's not what we're here to do here tonight.
Having said that,
so what's about our people, the opposition, going to lobby, going with Alan, what's his name? Alan something.
White.
Alan West.
No, White.
Oh, Alan White, or whatever his name is. And then there's other guy that used to be lobbyists for Charles Tiller. And these people are taking 180,000 from Liberia. When people are what kind of opposition is this? And these are the kind of people we expect to take state power. If they're spending their own money like this, how do you? I believe if you're going to spend your own money on these kinds of things, the most likely when you take state power, you're going to try to replenish that money. So, Mr. Judge, am I wrong to say that?
No, you are wrong. Here's the thing here, and I heard many people talking that these people don't know what they're up to. But, and I listened to them. They said that they didn't deny it. They said, yeah, they are doing it because for various reasons. They said the way the country is being run. So, because the culture of impunity, especially the war crime, that they are lobbying for those things to make sure the United States.
Mr. George, please don't do this to us here. You are an intellectual, and you want to tell me they're going to spend 180,000 for war crime lobby purpose?
Well, Mr. Toll, let me tell you. Do you know how much the lobbyists in Washington charge? Those people how they make the money. Bukhari seller, 240. Is it about 240,000? 240,000 for one firm, and the government they hire three firms to lobby on their behalf.
Why can't it come to us as Liberians?
But yeah, it's the thing.
And you don't have to pay that much money. We'll still go to Washington, D.C. and try to meet with these people and what have you. Of course, I know nobody in Washington, D.C., but that doesn't mean anything. You have other Liberians, on a very serious note, you have Liberians that are well connected in this country. You have Liberians that are involved into American politics. And you cannot be involved in this thing if you're not connected. So why can't I seek Liberians up who will understand Liberian plight, who will understand Liberian issue? Bukhari Seri never even talked about Liberia before in his life. And out of a second, he's not paying 240,000. And he called himself a liberal. First of all, before accepting that money, he should have gone on YouTube and view Liberia history and view current situation in Liberia. And this is not done. You're going to accept and you call yourself a liberal?
But here's the thing here. These people are not concerned about facts on the ground. The lobby is just to make your connection. You will go and make your case. So, and that's how they make their money. They are not concerned about the reality on the ground. It's not their business. They're not trying to connect you and get the money out. So you don't know how to use your money, that's the way you find gold. That's how they do it. But here is the thing I said. Any government can love it. There are three sides to this story. The opposition, what they have been saying, and the narrative the government, the counter narrative the government is making. Then it will come, the third one will be to verify. The State Department has the ambassador all accredited to all these countries. They make their yearly report or quarterly briefing to all the people on these various committees. So the issue of Liberia, I heard Minister Tour saying, some of them, they don't even know what they're talking about. 25 million that got missing. They are not concerned about that. All of that he was saying. But this same report has been put in the United States State Department report to the central government. So they talk about human rights abuses. It's documented in the U.S. Embassy report. Just last month, the ambassador accredited to Liberia spoke on the issue of power theft in Liberia, corruption. So if you come to say that all these things what I'm saying are lies, so you want to tell me that they will take your word over the ambassador credited to Liberia? These are the stiff hill this guy got to climb. So you can come and pay your lobbyists. Their job is to connect you to the people. They are not making the case.
Mr. George, to be honest with you, I think if this government lobby effort is to try to get as much connection as they can, and what you stated, if that's true, this is the kinds of stuff Samuel to continue to do to Dr. Weah and make up story, telling things that are not believable. And I'm not too sure whether Dr. Weah himself believed that or not. But what I'm saying here, if they're here in the United States and they decided they want to lobby, pay or talk to people and think that I believe in these things, I think they already shot themselves in the foot. Forget about the $16 billion. You have a president who the entire world know exactly who he is. He played football, made a lot of money. But the question then is, after the war, he was in Liberia for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 years almost. And he didn't put up any kinds of building. Immediately after the election, he had all the condominium put up. People are going to question that. You have almost Samuel Twe that did this $25 million map up. And there's a booklet where the auditor report say he was the captain of the team. And the auditor report says that on his watch, people were assigned certain amount of money to go do money exchange out, and people that were listed were nobody to be found. Phone number appear in the auditor report. Auditor said they contact those number. There's nothing. These reports are in public domain for anybody to read. You heard, as you correctly stated, the ambassador to Liberia talk about power theft. And you want Lindsey Grant and Raphael, Ted Cruz to help you. You already defeat you've already defeated. Because if you cannot explain, and the reason why they try to stay away from these Democrats, because these Democrats will put them on their mark to say, what's about this? Mr. Honorable Mangel, I'm reading here. What's going on here? Honorable Jefferson Kochi, when it rains, Liberia people can't even walk in the street of Monroe. What's going on? And Jefferson Kochi, to his credit, told us here that there are so many challenges in Liberia. But if there are so many challenges in Liberia, you're coming to these people begging and what have you. Why will you not bring some of these people that are facing the challenges? Why will you come in your Gucci shirt and you want people to believe that there are challenges? They're not there. You need people to come here to help you sell that idea. Mr. George, I also want to put this before you. The Liberian opposition, for me, they are being ridiculous right now, especially this $180,000 that they have spent. If you're going to spend that kinds of money for lobbying purposes, then you also have I have a reason to doubt your sincerity. Because the American government, if you have a Liberian government who the lobby right there, the lobby station is right there, it's called American Embassy. They see what you do. They're the one, the government, the administration would take their word over any other lobby. You go lobby, they throw the State Department report at your face. You got nothing to talk about. So my question is, why is these opposition are getting involved in the lobby business? Why can't they just let their work do the talking for them? Especially Dr. Buckeye.
Here's the thing here, Mr. Tool. Let me put it this way. The way Washington is run, that is the United States, the way it run. These even Eastern Europe countries have a higher lobbyists here. So any group that have interest and want the United States government to intervene, to do something, if they don't have a lobby, it's just difficult. State Department can do everything, but it's just difficult. So these people who opposition who today I read a story from page yesterday, then today I saw a representative came out and said, yes, we pay the money and we are the members. And it's a public record. There's no corruption, this and that. It's legal entity in Liberia, and it's the entity that registered, that hired these people to do the work here. So, and this entity was registered on George Weah.
So, Mr. George, I'm not going to let you run away with all kinds. Mr. George, you know me. You and I would all agree on many, many things, and this is one of those. If the opposition will want to, that means they don't even have trust in themselves. They are just as inept as this government. They have no ability to lead. Because if you can lead, you don't need to do these kinds of stuff. Won't you agree with this liberal view on that?
No. Here is the thing. I told you, in the way Washington works, for third world country, or for people interest, they must have people in Washington to push that interest. And this group media said that because of impunity in Liberia, they are lobbying for Washington to put pressure on the Weah government to put some money measure in place, especially the late emphasis on war crime and other things. So for me, if it was not done legally, then I will have a problem. But it is a legal group, and the group they hire here is legally done. So I do not have a problem with it. They are making a case too. The same thing. The State Department, these people call State Department to look at the records. Hey, this is what the people are saying. What is happening on the ground? All these things will come back to this. So if anybody gets to you, just go and tell the people they be innocent in this, and they say they agree with no. The God senators who are on the committees, they will say we want a report from State Department from this country. We want to look at it. What these people are saying. So it's a normal thing to do. The only thing I'm saying, the tougher one is to prove your case that, hey, what these people are saying is lie. Yeah, it's the truth. And these are the documents to back it. That is the difficult thing. Let me just give you one example. Zambia. Zambia, the man who was just elected, I think 3 weeks ago, a month, was invited by the President of the United States, Joe Biden. He's not here. Almost 1 month. That's 3 weeks. This man became President of Zambia. He's not here. He will be meeting with Joe Biden. Look at Liberia. The historical relationship. You got a president, 4 years. I come to Washington, I think twice. And not being able to meet with one senator from the United States. What does speak of
Mr. George, will you say perhaps America is not a soccer nation? And therefore, they were not quite aware of the talent that this young man had. His ability to score goals. Perhaps he was not recognized, and because America is not a soccer nation, so they are unable to recognize where this young man was during those days. And because of that, you think he's been left behind?
No. Ellen Johnson, what about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? She came to the United States, made a whole lot of speeches. She made a whole lot of speeches at university, big institution here. She made a mark. George Weah has broke a record for Liberia. He's the only president that has been elected 4 years, never met with any American president. Every president of Liberia, Martin Hill, has met the president of the United States. Given our relationship with the United States, at this time, our president has not been able to sit down with the leader of the United States. That speaks volume. I just
Mr. Joyce, then let me ask it, and let me say it before I ask. Perhaps you think Dr. Weah, and I said Dr. Weah. Dr. Weah is unable to meet with these people because perhaps they are just out of his league.
Out of his league?
Yeah, that maybe he's a PhD. Mr. No, let me not do that. No, on a very serious note. Do you think those that are responsible for Dr. Weah activities are people that we need to blame, or do you think the blame squarely lies with Dr. Weah himself?
It's with him. Mr. Toll, let me tell you this. When Doe came to power, they didn't know nothing. Where to turn?
Yeah, but before you go too far, Doe coming to power, it was a different situation because at that time you have the Soviet Union, the West and the East were going at each other, and they could not afford, because at that time also Liberia was almost like a satellite state of the United States, so they wanted to make sure they keep it as such. So the situation now is a little bit different. But go ahead.
Listen, that one aspect. But Doe came to power, and you know, the condemnation from the United States, everybody condemning the coup. But the people that Doe brought in to help to stir, to run the country, help a whole lot. When he brought in Honest Eastman, Ambassador Honest Eastman, Ambassador, brought at the foreign ministry. This man had been ambassador almost all around. Had people in the foreign service, had contacts. So it was easier for them to make the case for Doe to doubt of President Ronald Reagan. Now, fast forward, President Ellen Johnson came, like it or not, she got her contacts. And let me tell you, some people don't understand this thing here. When Ellen Johnson was in jail in Liberia, George Bush Sr. wrote a letter. I think it was the Episcopal Church Bishop Brown read that letter on behalf of the Bush family, asking Doe, the government, to help release Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So these relationships go way back, and not just something he built overnight. Now, President Weah came to power. The people he brought around him, what is experience that you don't have in the foreign world? These are things you do. You bring people around that know some foreign minister of Britain, some former foreign minister of France, Germany, that they can say, you know what, I can call this person and push some button from there. But look at the people. As we speak today, in almost 11 months, your foreign minister of today has not left Liberia to come to the West. This man was supposed to be here with a delegation. He's not here. The foreign minister supposed to be part of the delegation, but he's missing. So you see how long it had taken these people to get off the ground, to make that connection, to even meet with senators before you say the president of the United States. So who responsible is the president, because the team you put around you, that team will help you. Let me use the soccer analogy. If the coach, the captain of the team, George Weah, he had good players around him that help him to succeed. So it's the same in the government. If you don't bring the right people around you, you suffer. And the captain.
Dr. We are, this is Samson Toll. I am a very good midfielder. I can be the finance minister. So give me a call. But anyway, let's go on. We'll come back to the government, but let's go back to the opposition.
Yeah.
Any new from the opposition side since the debacle the last time about Cummings walking out and why and what have you? Have we had any kinds of information lately? Are they still together? Or are they still in fighting?
Yeah, I spoke to some people from the Cummings camp from Monrovia, and they told me that they are in it. They are not leaving. And
Okay.
I asked them what happened. They said, well, what happened, what Cummings did was right because it's not exposing the old politicians in Liberia, what they have been doing to the people. You sign a document, then when the time reaches, you say, oh, no, we're pushing the one to say what I don't want to go into it. You want to lead the main document that you sign to bring in something that you think will suit you. And they said the point about coming out to put it out there and reviewing the character of the kind of people now or people that we have in Liberia that tend to lead the country. So, but they told me, they say they will stay in there and they make sure they will live up to the letter of what is in that document. Anything outside that document, they will not abide by it. They got to go by that document. And so that is the problem now.
Okay, let's listen to Dr. Bakai giving his own 2 cents on it. That in essence, saying that they need to work together. Let's listen in.
One thing it is, there's no standing between me and Cummings. There are issues that we need to discuss. There are issues that need to be brought to the forefront that we all should talk about. And I believe when we came together as a collaboration, we didn't come together to fight. We came together believing that all of us could work together for the betterment of this country. And at some point, I would believe that issues that among us should be discussed among us and come up, because we are not rivals. At least that's not the impression with which we came. So the way in which issues have been going out there is not the way that we had expected, because we should be a team, and a team should discuss, a team should meet and discuss issues that will make them look like they're working together.
So, Mr. George, give me your honest opinion on what Dr. Bakai just stated. For me, it seemed to me that he's a little bit contrite on what have transpired. I think he seemed to be a little bit leaving the door open that they will still work together. And I also believe when he was speaking, he most likely was speaking to the international community, specifically America, to say there's nothing here. We are still together. What do you make of that statement?
I have a little problem with Honorable Walker's statement.
Go ahead.
He's saying that they came together. I mean, paraphrasing that if there's a problem, they should discuss it in or not in the public domain. But sometimes these things don't always go that way. And especially when it comes to this issue, collaboration, political party coming together, you have a document. And somebody now or a group want to get away from that document to bring something in to suit them or for their taste. Then, of course, the other party should not sit quietly. They must bring it to the public domain, because what you people are discussing or planning is the country future. Because if it is not done right from the beginning, it would not be done good at the end of the day. So this secrecy of policy is not right. Yes, there are certain things you can discuss in heart, but there are certain things, if it need to come to the public, let it come. Now, why didn't he talk to Benina Ure? when Benigna made a sweeping statement that someone had tampered with the document. Why Honorable Parker did not come to question Benigna? Since he's the other man in the room, why didn't he question Benigna not to come in the public with that kind of statement? Why?
But let me hold you right there. I think Dr. Barker tried to explain what had happened. So let's listen to his explanation, and you tell me whether that makes sense or not.
It is not true. It is not true that there wasn't an agenda. There is no meeting without an agenda. He had disagreed to an issue that shouldn't have been that way. If you want to know, we got together for whatever meeting is called. There is an agenda. You're going to go discuss something. And the first agenda was to introduce people that we had appointed, including himself coming, to investigate the issues of the framework document. And as soon as we called the people in, he had a disagreement that we didn't have the authority to call the people, that it was another entity within the CPP that was supposed to do, and we disagree on that because we felt that we, the political leaders, were the one who nominated the people, including himself, and that we were the ones who were supposed to invite them. And upon that, he walked out.
Upon that, he walked out. If what Dr. Barker is saying, if you're on board with that, will you then frown on Cummings walking out?
No, I'm not on board with Dr. Barker.
Why would you not be? Do you think that's not a true statement? His explanations are not credible? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying there's something missing in there. You heard he said that we felt we appointed the people, so we should do so. That means what is the Constitution? Now we felt is what the document empower you to do. He's not quoting the document. He's saying that if we felt we appointed them, so we have the authority to call them. No, sir. Honorable Barker. There is a framework, there's a document. So what the document says and what you see. Show me the document that gave you that power. That essentially appointed them, you have the power to call them at any time. That's why it's missing.
I see. Let me play, folks, we'll be coming to you guys here very shortly. Let me play another clip here where Dr. Barker, and I'm saying, you know, you got to give it to him. He's really playing to the audience and the international community. He's not necessarily playing to the Liberian audience, but he's playing to the international community because there's going to be an election. And if these people do not seem to be credible, and they are not, the people do not view them as being people who are working together, then their support internationally will be weakened. So I think Dr. Barker is trying his best to say the door is open. Kumi and I, we have no issue. We're going to work together. Let's listen to this other one.
Yes, when you come together for a purpose and you come to the point where everything that you work towards, things that can be handled within the agreement are out in the media in a negative way, there's a reason for those who believe in you to say, well, I don't think these people are willing to work together. Our duty is to continue to ensure that we come back to the table and make the process work.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
What happened to my video?
Yeah, video still on the screen.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. George,
yeah.
Before we go to the audience here to call in, please, what do you make of this? The entire program, Dr. Barker, it seemed to me that he was very contrite. He wasn't. It wasn't like when he was. You remember when he was on Costa's show? Every word he was saying were fighting words. Every word that came out of his mouth were, defiant. I the only one that can take down Dr. Weir, he says, and he even made this other comment, because you're president of the republic, and I'm paraphrasing now, because you're the president of the republic does not mean that you have the right to all the women. But now when it comes to Comey issue, he's saying very much choosing his word very, very carefully, and which showed to me that he's a astute politician, by the way. But what do you make of that? Do you think Dr. Weir is still, Dr. Baka is still in it to have Comey on board?
Let me say this. He's a diplomat, so he know the choice of words to use. So now I think he's been listening to the public about languages referring to people that he disagree with in his orbit. I think he got some blowback, and he's trying to recalibrate his message out there. But here's the thing here. He said that thing that is good for the body to be put in the media and people look at it negatively. No, sir. If it is good for the body, it should be out there. Because something went wrong and somebody spoke about it. This is why I see Honorable Baka is seen this way. Because maybe they thought that Cummings were not going to take a stand. Want to look at them to go against or to interpret the document the way they feel. And when Cummings took that stand, this is now Baka being a statement, he cannot come with fire again to say he want to put fire there. So he have to come down to cool the temperature. Hey, these things can be resolved in-house. We don't need to be out there putting the delegate in front of the screen or watching our delegate in front of the screen. So this is our Baka not coming back to cool down the temperature.
But then that making a true unifier. Will you not say that?
No. This is pressure.
Mr. George, if there's an issue somewhere and you trying to cool down the tension in the room so that people will be on the same page, why will we not consider you a unifier?
No, because I am not from most of his statements, he doesn't look like that. He doesn't seem like that.
Probably I'm showing you an example of some of the things that he has done and he continued to do to bring people to work together. Then why will you not call him unifier?
Mr. Toe, one or two statements cannot make me to think that somebody has changed when they have made thousands of statements about certain things that they disagree with people, describing people in a negative forum. So I cannot use the one or two occasions to say, oh, he's a unifier now. Probably it's because of pressure or involving. I can say maybe I will choose the word involving around that. Okay, but for me to
but that's fine. That's a good word. If he's evolving, into something that you think will be good for the Republic of Liberia, then why were you not calling the unifier if he's evolving?
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he had changed completely. He getting around it. So for me to come up there and say, "Oh,
Mr. Judge, will you give Dr. Baka some sort of a credit?"
But I gave him credit. I say he's involving.
That's not enough. Can you say he's a true leader?
No. I won't say that. If I said that, I would be lying.
Why will you not say that he's a true leader?
This man tells someone that you are not from here. You don't belong here. You are not from here. You are not part of us. Those are strong words. And for you to come back the next day and say, okay, I think we can work together, then I cannot just jump on and say, oh.
Something's going on with your audio, sir.
Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So I won't say that, because if I say that, then I will not be honest to myself and to people who are listening to us. Because Mr. Baka, Ambassador Baka, I used some strong words.
Dr. Barker, please.
Dr. Barker had used some strong words against other people he disagreed with. So if you come today saying this, that it's not time that they come together to work, oh yeah, I would say, oh, that's a good sign. But for me to come and say, oh yes, you're unified, no, I won't do that.
Okay, folks, if you're listening, the number is out there. Give us a call and express yourself. 916-533-2048. And we're not going to be here that long tonight, of course. Give us a call here. So, Mr. George, let's go on to other issues. The collaborating political party, quite recently, Liberty Party has a I believe, convention. Were you able to follow it?
I just watched portion of it briefly because I saw portion of it. But I should be asking because you USA America.
I'm a Liberty Party USA.
But that's a USA brand that had this convention.
Yeah, they have it. I have had previous engagement, so I couldn't attend.
Now let me question: were you invited? For the record.
Yes.
You were invited.
Yes, there was an email that was sent to me from the president. I was invited. I just couldn't make it.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to have a conversation with the president here very shortly. Who the president is this young man, Mr. Pei, is too much book. I don't even know how to address it. The board knows so much book, and not easy. He alone know almost 16, 17 book, plenty of book. So,
but my question here, having the convention in the USA, what the concern about what is going on in the party in Liberia?
From what I'm hearing, is that there is a serious concern. There are serious concern, and because we're not in this Liberty Party business just for fun. It's a very serious business, and for the party not to have a cohesive process in Liberia, it is a little bit disheartening, to be honest with you. And so I think these brothers, people like Honorable Phyllis Swa, former leader of Liberty Party USA, they're all, I believe they're trying their best to make sure that our brothers and sisters in Liberia try to put themselves together, put their act together, so that they will be respected, because you can't go into the collaborating process when you are fighting among yourself. Then people most likely will not take you seriously, because you have Liberty Party is supposed to be one of the stronger parties within the collaborating political party, but because of their in-house fighting here and there, and they're not, for me, it seemed to me that they're not being taken seriously. But that's besides the point. We know who we are. Liberty Party, the best party. If you want to enjoy Liberia, come enjoy Liberty Party.
Don't say we know who we are. No, it's not. Here's the point here. I still by something. Do you have any knowledge what
Mr. George, though, we're not asking you for your opinion on Liberty Party. We're not asking you for your political analysis on Liberty Party. So, okay. But anyhow, go ahead. Nothing has stopped you before. Okay. Go ahead.
But here's the thing here. There's an internal wrangling of the Liberty Party that in Liberia. And let me say this. You can settle everything here of Liberty Party. It doesn't matter. What matters is the people in Liberia on the ground. Those are the foot soil. So you can have all the institutions, all the organizations here, but when there is no peace in the party on the ground, that means just forget about American Liberty Party. You're just beer, drinking your beer. So the first most thing is that the party must be united on the ground. If that is not yet done, then Liberty Party is just for you're just to drink champagne and drink beer, because nothing will succeed in Liberia. If the party in Liberia is not organized, forget it. And the question I'm asking, were the chairman of the party Musa Bede invited to this
that I don't know. I don't know exactly. I'm not that much
no,
connected.
I'm just
So I don't know that for sure.
Yeah,
What do you make of the professor not being here tonight?
I think Professor schedule.
He has a tough schedule, but I want to poke him a little bit. I think he's running away from the shadow of CDC lobbying fiasco.
No. Yeah, what I would be wondering to hear from Professor. Maybe he's on the advisor thing of this group, and maybe he has spoken to them. Maybe he will know why they decided to go that route. You got here insider, and he got the ears of many of the top officials. So I think probably this week when he come back, he will be able to tell us what led to them taking that route, and maybe he'll give us an insight of what the government is thinking going that route.
One of the things that I find, and I will just make this brief comment, I'm not going to discuss on Mossad Joseph because I don't intend to. But one of the things that I observed, because I was with him the entire day, going from point A, point B, whatever, there are so many organizations in this country. Retired medical doctors, retired farmers. And I will even go as far as to say retired law enforcement. They are willing. They are willing to work to help Liberia. Because everywhere we went, these people will welcome Sir Joseph and express their interest. Even some of them used to live in Liberia. Why is it that it's only Sir Joseph get to go to these people? Why is it if this government can send people to do this lobbying fiasco, what you call it, why can't it follow Sir Joseph and tackle these people? Because the government itself has the means. Sir Joseph does not have that much money. He's not a millionaire to be able to do all of these things, because most of the time he has to transport them as well. Halfway, meet them halfway. So he's also spending his own money. But if the government, I'm sure the government is aware of what Sir Joseph is doing. Getting these buses, getting these ambulances, and what have you. Why is it that the government is not targeting, following Sir Joseph to say, let's go talk to your people? And the government comes in as a representative of the people. They just start talking to NGO because that's what these people are. I really don't understand it.
Let me tell you a story. A guy called me. A friend of mine called me one time. He said, do you know so doctor? I said, the last name ring a bell. In Liberia, he said, this guy is a surgeon in this hospital. He said, how I got to know this guy? There was another woman that working there. And called him one day, say, do you know that guy? He said, no. He said, that guy's from your country. So he said, what are you talking about? She said, that man from your country, that doctor. So he said he went and spoke to the guy. Excuse me, sir. That's when he said he opened him up. The guy said, are you a Liberian? He said, yeah. He said, okay. Then the man called his full name. Then the guy said, hey, I'm so person. But during the early time, we gather Liberians doctors from around in America that wanted to come in every year to help to serve our people. No charge, they will come just to help. You see, the government took that, the alien government took that and swept on in the raw. He said when the Wian government came, same people went back again to them. Said the Noga responded, the man said, look, I turn my back on our country because the people ain't serious. The man said, you talking about specialists. He said, you didn't know, do you know that I was a Liberian? He said, no. He said, I used to pass here, people call him that. He said, we have done all these things. He said, equipment. People offer this, we talk to hospital, they offer this equipment to order. You know, they're bringing new ones to want to get rid of these things. You see, our people never responded. So, Sir Joseph, what he's doing, it's just an individual thing he's doing. But if the government was open to these things, got the red tape out of the way, have the facility there, that these people come, you got certain group of Liberian doctors, nurses will come at certain time, you're not paying them, maybe just getting transportation for them to move about, they come there 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they do surgery in that area and help the fellow Liberians. But again, the vision is not there. Or if it is there, the red tape. So this is the thing with telling people back home, government, cut some of the red tape, the bureaucracy, cut some of these things off. Because, and try to prepare these facilities. So we don't have money to send some people out of the country. At a certain time of the year, they can say, hey, this group that will be going to Nimba County. This one will be going to Zebra to the hospital. This one to Marina to the hospital. Kedma, so time they will divide themselves. They will be there for 2 weeks. Let all of them make the paper and bring these patients that they will work on, and after that time they go back to their jobs. That will help a whole lot of people. But the infrastructure are not there. The people who are in authority, they are not willing to do these things. So Sir Joseph is there an individual. He's trying. But how much can the one man do? So these are some of the things we're talking about. One time I heard a political leader, Yomi Kanga, that she carried a container came for her supplies. She ended up paying $5,000 and it took so long to clear her container. Something that Goose said she was not personal you, but to help. So if imagine a senator can go through that headache. So what do you think about the ordinary person? These are things that people would say, they say we don't like.
I have similar issue as well.
You see them?
As you know, I'm an engineer here, practicing engineer here in the United States. So I've been contacting, even including some people in higher places in government. I've been contacting them free of charge, that I want to be involved. I even tried to talk to the minister to see if I can review the route fee highway plan, which I'm not too sure if they have it anyway. But what I want to say here is just last night, I called my sister. She's in Atlanta, there, right there in Atlanta with you. So I called my sister and I explained to her the little venture that I'm getting involved in. I contacted the authority in Grand because last week I saw on Facebook, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, could you please just hold on 1 minute, please, while I try to finish my statement, please? Thank you. So I called my sister, as I stated, and I explained to her I'm in contact with folks in Granada, and because I saw on Facebook, the road was impossible for them to drive through. It was bad. And these were things, common things that I do here all the time. You know, I'm here in Northern California, where we're not too far from these mountains, and it rains a lot sometimes. And so you have mudslide. And then when the mudslide takes the entire road out, I have to come in and try. I did 2 projects already with mudslide. I have to come in, of course, the maintenance take out all the mud, but I have to come in with the fix. And it's the same type of situation over there. You don't need any kinds of, you don't even need asphalt. You don't need concrete. All you need to do was just remove the mud material, the muddy material out of there. If you, just like you would do with rice, you take it out somewhere and pull it out for it to dry. for it to dry. And when it dries, that same material, if it is suitable, you can put it back in. So she told me, Samson, you can't get tired. Every time you ask people, they always tell you they will call you, they don't call you back. So they don't want you, they don't want your help. They know who you are, they don't want your help. I said I will continue to try. But I thought I'd just bring that up. Caller, if you want to call again, please do so, and we'll take your call. But I was in the middle of a comment, and I thought that I'd finish that. Mr. Jackson, the number is out there now. 916-533-2048 if you care to give us a call. So, Mr. Josh, we will soon be closing here.
Yeah, but
whether we're going to get called or not, for me, it really doesn't matter. So, first of all, okay, let me take this here. Samson to LeBron Public, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? Can you hear me? You should be able to. Hold on 1 minute, please. Hold on 1 minute. Let me make sure that I'm not going into the other earpiece here. Hold on. Just hold. Oh, okay. I know what happened. Okay. Can you hear me now? Excuse me? Yeah, but why am I not connected? Hold on 1 minute. Okay. Can you hear me now, you say?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you hearing me?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Let me just start, first, you were discussing, about the delegation, from Liberia, the lobby delegation.
Right.
And then you went on to the CPP, the saga, but let me just start with the delegation,
Okay.
Yes, I have few problems with it, with the composition of the delegation. I don't have problem for them to come to lobby, but I feel that when you want to do something, do it with some maturity and with respect. And what I mean is, let's take for example McGee. Let's take for example Samuel Twelve. These are only, the executive branch of the government. Where is the vice president?
Yeah.
Where is the speaker?
Right.
You come in here to meet another government. You want to meet, and people that are in authority. You need to bring care of your, of your authority, to come to those type of places. That would make sense. But I see the delegation, even the vice president. They have been here a couple of times for them to bring the vice president. We have a speaker who is a vice president, who's a lady. We have the vice president in this country. Why they couldn't bring the vice president of the country? Why they can't bring the speaker? To say, because this is what we want to do. But we keep on seeing old people as I'm not against the city mayor, but what so much the city mayor have to do? What's the import? You understand? So I feel that they should be able to make that that delegation that will be very locally inclusive. Let them bring some feminine, faces. For them to see, that people are serious. So I feel that they need next time, they need to look at, as to what they do. You can't come here and the speaker who they need to meet from speaker to speaker is not there. At least that shows some strength to me. So I just want to make that known to them. You understand?
Thank you.
And what is the message? People are concerned, that they have a group of people who are lobbying, what message do they have that we are so concerned about? Do they want to let the U.S. government to know that they are incompetent, or do we want to know that they are corrupt, or they know that they are not able to do business with them? These are things that are lingering, but I don't think any Liberians will come here to say that they will want to come here and tell the U.S. government that we don't like this government, so they must go and overthrow. I don't think they will do that. What they want to do is they want to show, to them, to counteract them. That's one thing I believe they will be able to do. But the U.S. government not going to just look at a few group of people to come here and say, we don't like the government, go take them out. They're not going to do that.
Thank you.
Yes. Then let us go to the CPP saga, where you play the tape, of the vice president. Look, Mr. Tu, I like the vice president, Mr. Boyka, but what I don't like is I don't like, when you don't show leadership. And what I mean is, when Europe came out to say, say that the document, and the CPP document were manipulated, there is something in it. If you knew very well, you are the oldest person and you are the one that depending on, is to set out to say, I will bring our people together. It's they go out there. You don't wait until they are getting out there and then you try to give excuses. This is what leadership comes from. If there is leadership, you need to take responsibility. You need to take, and delegate, responsibility to people. Say, this is what I want it to be done. You don't wait when it's poured out there and then you say you want to come, to say something that this person ran from there. I don't listen to that. Because I feel that if all of us say that we want for somebody to come out, and to counteract CDC, you must be more responsible than CDC. But if you want to act the CDC, it means that you are the same old person that coming back. And I just think like, how the CPP went around it. Especially where other people start blaming other people that they are foreigners and that they are strangers in their own land. The moment if I was, member of that CPP, I would have come out and said, this is not the voice of CPP. And you understand? John McCain did it when you were campaigning. Why Boyka can come and take responsibility? And every time things was poor, then we give excuse. I feel that that's not leadership. And this is, I just want to make that known.
Okay.
And I take my answer from off the air.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Josh, I think you and Mr. Jackson pretty much on the same page, except Mr. Jackson stated out front that he admired the VP. Except for him, he doesn't think the VP show any kinds of leadership in this instance. What do you make of it? Yeah, I think your meter, Mr. Can you hear me?
Me?
No, I mean, Mr. George, are you with me? I think your meter. Check your mic. Okay. All right, folks. Mr. George is.
You need to take me out, and then you will hear it.
Yeah. I think
No. You're on a different system. Go ahead, Mr. George. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. But you were able to hear Mr. Jackson clearly, did you not?
Yeah. I heard it completely.
Okay. What do you make of it?
Oh yeah. I mean, the only thing I said that Mr. Jackson, that's his right. That he liked the VP. I didn't say I hate the VP. Or I said that unifier, he's involved around it. So I cannot come back to say, oh yeah, the VP is a unifier. No. I want to see more of him. And secondly, he said leadership. That's the thing that I spoke about. That when they say come up, you are considered as a statement, you should grab it by the horn. Don't let it go out there. And you should be the one to tell the surrogates, hey, tone it down. Listen to us. But if you are not speaking, and all the surrogates...
But Mr. George, you can't. You heard the vice president making that statement. Not in so many words, but he said we came together not to fight. And we did not expect that all of these things will produce these kinds of infighting among our, and I'm paraphrasing, among our supporters. So why would you not say that the VP, Dr. Baka, is not on that route?
Oh, you can't say you did not expect this kind of thing to happen in politics. Okay, if you did not expect it, is it happening? What is the role now you're playing? What is the role? But at the same time, you say you did not expect, but you have been part of that process to flame the fire. Utterances you have made. So if I want to go forward, then you set the path for your surrogate to follow because they saw what you are talking about. So they follow it. They follow the leaders. So this is what's happening. So, but I'm glad that he recognizes something, that he's trying to cool down the temperature. I'm glad for that. So that's one, I give it to him. I think he needs to do more than that. And all of them need to tell the surrogate to tone down.
Right.
Calm down. All of them need to tell the surrogate to calm down.
Right. I agree.
All of them, calm
I
down.
agree. I
You
agree.
know. So
But let's go on to the other comment he made about the delegate, the lobby fiasco, as I call it. I think one of the things that when he was speaking, and I started putting things together in my own mind, I think one of the things that perhaps we're going to take out of this is that if these people are not successful in getting serious stuff to Liberia, I think that will also diminish their status in terms of being in a circle at Dr. William, because this is their second time coming here, all three of them.
oh,
And if they are unable to produce, Dr. Weir might still be infatuated with them, but he still might be mesmerized by Samuel Twain intake and what have you. But the other folks within the circle, now if they're not careful, they might just become a laughing stock in their circle. Because you remember Esther Walker leaked tape what she said when she went into Jamaica Resort. There were three of them, and they called her. In other words, there were the three amigos, as I would call them, that are always involved, and they were here before. Now they're back. Now, if they're not able to get something decent that will propel Dr. Weir to the next level in terms of his political career, these people might they are stuck with Dr. Weir, might just become diminished, and then they might become also a laughing stock, just as they seem to be now. Well, what do you think of that? You don't think that's possible?
that's a fair analysis you're giving. And here's the thing here. There's a second visit. And that tells you there's pressures from somewhere. Because they were here a month or so, now they're back again. And the danger about these things, it don't work overnight. Even if it will work, it takes a long time. And nowadays, people want dividend. They don't want to wait for all that long time investment. People want dividend. So there is a pressure on these people. Secondly, Major Kochi coming here, I think they said the Bartanians celebration 200 years of Morovia. So he coming to love it with some African Americans to go to Liberia to have that celebration of the city. So I think that's one of the purposes that Major Kochi also came on. And secondly, these are the big three. These guys are the face of the government now. I was telling someone today, the face of the Liberian government, Samuel Twain, Nathaniel Market, and Jefferson Kochi. That is the face of the Liberian government today, if you speak. So it means that if you want anything done in Liberia, if you don't have Jefferson Kochi or Samuel Twain, Nathaniel Market, forget it. You're not going to get it. These are the faces of the government now. So there's immense pressure on them. What are these things that they're talking about? Because here's the thing. Most of the thing has to do like the MCC. That is an act that was created by the United States government. So I don't think any senator can tamper with it. There are benchmark criteria that you're supposed to meet to get that money. So you have to work to meet the minimum requirement.
Well, Mr. Joyce, this is just very simple. A year or so ago,
yeah,
I started following the MCC grade process.
Yeah.
And Liberia have always come short. In fact, they have the color coding on their grading stuff. They have different color, and they explain to you what these color represent.
Yeah.
How you can redeem yourself. And this process will explain. And still they are unable to make the grades. And sometimes I wonder, as much as I truly believe that these brothers are highly educated, I wonder because they are so much educated that they tend to take things for granted and they don't pay attention to these guys, because these things are clearly out there, laid out for you to see. They have colors, and they will explain to you, this color means what this. What do you do to get yourself to the next level if you want to redeem yourself? These things were all spelled out. And yet still 2 years later, we're still talking about flunking. Then it's something that is also baffling to me. But before we leave, Mr. Judge, let me ask you this. What do you make of our brothers and sisters, of people with different platforms, to use insult to describe Jefferson Kochi, to describe Samuel Twe, to describe, and these are all honorable men as far as I'm concerned, to describe Natana McGill, who are also our own brothers. I don't agree with them, and you definitely don't agree with them. But do you think because you don't agree with them, will you use languages that perhaps are not suitable for another human being description? Will you use those kinds of language to describe the three gentlemen, fellow Liberians, as I will call them?
No, 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 no. Mr. Two is appalling. Shame for anybody to be just get up and insulting people that you disagree with them. More people whom are in government is wrong. We should not be engaged in such a thing. So it's absolutely wrong for anybody just to get up to curse people because you simply disagree with them. Even if what they say is not true, that doesn't give or warrant you to right to insult them. I think there's a better way. You can choose to describe them or talk to them if you want to, but this raining or insult on people, it's just not good for us. Because what happened here is that the children that are following us will want to take this path because they see us doing it. People live by example. They see us doing it. So if they see us doing it, they will say, "Oh, that's a norm. That's the way to go." We have to stop that because tomorrow, we don't want you sitting in that office and somebody again start raining insult on you. It's just wrong. But again, this is now becoming part of the culture of Liberia. That the only way you can be noticed is not to be very extreme to the point that you insult people, their parents, everybody. It's something that now is engulfing the Liberian society. And
but what is this happening about this is that, and some of the people that have these platforms, they're highly educated, intelligent people, and they tend to use words to describe fellow Liberians as though they are less than human beings. I think this is something that we should not accept.
And this is what I always say. These are some of the negative aspects of the war that left with us. These are some of the negative things that the war left with us. Because you and I, during the days of Banco Matthews, how many person ever told you that they ever heard Banco Matthews or any of the surrogates of Banco Matthews insulting any government official on air or even in public places off the air? How many times? Nobody will show you that. Nobody. Even during the door time, the campaign, nobody threw insult at public officials. But today, it has become a norm in Liberia that anybody can get up. The only way they can gain attention is sometimes to say the awful thing about other people. And most of the people who see it, they are highly intelligent, highly educated. So why are they going down this path? What is the example they want to set for the country future? That tomorrow
and just to add on that, they have huge following. Sometimes that comes on air and they use some language to call it Marcos or whatever, but they have thousands of people watch them. And in fact, some people try to encourage them to use more. And even in the intellectual realm, you got people, they don't go that far, but their way of describing other Liberians are so uncomfortable for some of us. But how do we deal with it?
Well, I mean, this is why some of us are talking. We don't have those kind of followers, but one or two people that listen will say, okay, I think that platform is where I need to be or listening to it. Because let me say this. Today is me. You can say anything to me. But what happens tomorrow when you're sitting here and somebody repeating those same things against you? Your children are sitting down with you, maybe watching TV, and all of a sudden they see that someone talking to you like that, and they're looking at you, say, Dad, what did you do? And you say, oh no, I didn't do nothing. It's just because I work for government. No, this is something you did to other people in the past. Now it's coming after you. So we should be very careful. What we do, what we say to other people that we disagree with, it's just awful for people to sit there and do this kind of thing to other people, and other people take pleasure. But let me tell you one thing involved. You see Donald Trump? Let me give you an example of these people. What did I come up with Donald Trump? Republicans that supported Donald Trump, they are saying that they could not say to black people. But Donald Trump was the vessel that this guy can say anything to anybody. He doesn't care. So we put our money there. And so you see people who follow these people and who give them financial support. It's the same thing, because as an individual, they cannot come on Facebook, they cannot go on the radio to say these things, but they got it in mind. So send they got people who can channel that for them. Then of course they have to support those people, because now those people are now conveying the message that they can directly, that they cannot directly convey, but send those individuals out there to convey that message. So then what they do now is to pay them. That the same thing Donald Trump was doing here. So this is the habit these people are engaged in. And we have to start to call it is wrong. If we want to build a vibrant society where everybody will respect one another, regardless of what your political agreement or disagreement will be, but remember that that person is a human being. Let me just talk to them on the issue of the policy of the day that I disagree with them. You start throwing all the insults, raining all these words. Profanity has become the order of the day on social media for many Liberians. So sometimes even they get that kind of some of the program, people talk to them like it to say that they are not people. And it's just bad. But let me just go back to this point I was making about the ministers from Liberia. This is a huge challenge for them, because I don't know one person where is coming to the United Nations. I don't know yet. And if he's coming, I don't know what the itinerary will be, whether he's going to meet the Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi. I don't know. But this is a very uphill battle to government Liberia. They got to fight, because they are behind time. Almost 4 years from day one, they should have started the fight. So what they got in front of them is too big. I don't know whether they will be able to achieve it. But one thing I can tell you, Mr. Toad, that Honorable Manguez, Sametua, and Jefferson Kochi, these guys now are telling person that we are the one breaking through the rank and file of the United States government. We are now the policy maker of this country. We are now running this country. And President, we are depend on us.
Well, Mr. Judge, I want to thank you very much for being part of this process tonight. And I think you're quite correct. I hope that the three brothers will be able to will be successful in making the bridge by which Dr. Weir will hopefully meet when he comes. Hopefully meet with some of the high power American or government officials, because I would truly love to see Dr. Weir meeting with President Biden, so that all of these things will be put behind us and move forward. I'm not too sure if he can get something, but at this point, just a mere photo with Mr. Biden will be a gold for Dr. Weir, to be honest with you, because if he can't meet these people, then it's just disheartening, to be honest. Because the reason why I'm finding it difficult to say that he will not meet with them, I hope he meet with them, is because This Mrs. Young man, his story, Dr. Weir's story, just as a human being, is something that these people here in the United States will gravitate towards. The conservative will gravitate towards the kinds of story. Somebody that grew up in the poor slum of Liberia and ended up on top, number one in the world, the entire world, as a football player, soccer player, athletes. And you know how these people respect their athletes in this country. In fact, in this country, if a kid is gifted athlete, that kid most likely will do nothing that will be stringent for the rest of his life until he becomes a superstar. And that's how most of them get in trouble. So to have Dr. Weir, who from the bottom to the top, the true story of human endeavor, and for him not to be able to tell this story like this at this particular time, to be president of the Republic of Liberia, and this story is not being told to the American people, because he was here. Remember, Dr. Weir was here some time ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, when he was here during some kind of SB award or what have you, and he was awarded something.
Martin the Mel resident, he was resident here.
Exactly. So I'm saying now that he's president, and this is the kinds of stuff you would think that our brother, Honorable McGee, Honorable Tuet, Honorable Kochi would sell these kinds of stuff to the American government or to the American public. Up to this point, they have not even made able to sit in on any kinds of programs, CNN or whatever. These people should be able to do better than that. And I'm not just making it up. During the war, at that time I was living in Ohio, and they have a TV station in Akron, Channel 10. And there was a guy, there was three of us that were called. One guy used to be former Minister of Information, Gabriel Williams. Gabriel Nimlin. I'm sorry, Gabriel Nimlin. Remember Gabriel Nimlin, right?
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. So it was Gabriel Nimlin and Paul Shilante were three of us that were called at the station. And we went to the station. 6 o'clock in the morning, I drove from Canton, which is like 45 minutes or so, from Canton to Akron. Akron, where they have the Akron Firestone Plantation, based in Akron, Ohio. So we went there and we were able to explain what we thought of the war, what was happening. So those people seek you out. And if they were to make a serious commitment in Washington, D.C., even the local news organization will seek them out. Because Dr. Weir's story, if I was involved, this is the story that I would sell effectively and be able to get on these news organizations.
But Mr. Toe, hold on there.
I'm not too sure what is happening.
Listen,
too sure what is happening.
To sell that story, because when you tell these people, these people do their own research too. So to sell that story, you got to be prepared, because these people want to do the research.
They can bring in a question. Mr. Josh, if for example, if I'm selling that story, and you can't ask me, so how come the man building all the mansion town like this? My man, this is what we do in Liberia. We got LPA. We can borrow money from 11 people. And the president has the ability to pay it back. Mr. Josh, these things are all possible.
Hold on. Joe Boakai getting the loan from the bank and he living unknown.
Exactly. I said, look at the former vice president. This is what he said. He's borrowed money from the bank and living on. So it is possible. I can give an excuse why Dr. Weir was able to build this thing.
Now, let me tell you, that excuse will not hold. The next person will come, hope they will get it. But look at the masses. Are you taking into account the suffering of those people, the uptake of this? You think it's right?
Well, but of course, I will come out. That's the first thing I would do. After I give them that explanation, then I'll say, but of course, the uptake is it doesn't pass a smell test. And we accept that. Those are mistakes that we made, and we're moving forward. And that's why we want to make sure that the international community understood our problem. We have challenges. And at this point, we're asking everybody. In fact, first of all, I will start from the beginning to say that when we came to power, we didn't think that these things the problem was so huge. But after we got involved and started seeing the challenges, and then we realized how much, if you're being truthful with anybody, they will accept your story.
Mr. Toll, you've been in opposition for 12 years. You didn't see the enormous amount of problem that you would have encountered?
I was there causing, why I got time to look at problem. I was causing all day, passing casket around. If I got time to come listen to problem. But that's a good point. But Mr. George, to be honest with you, those are kinds of stuff you prepare yourself for before you go into public forum or public arena and stuff. All three of them, they are good speakers. Let's have a debate.
Yes.
Samuel Twe, McGill, Jefferson Kochi. Let's talk about ourselves. Let's have a debate. Let's discuss these things and see which way that would be suitable for this president. All three of them in a room, and they start asking each other questions, serious questions. Why is that up to this time this road is not being built? But Mr. McGill, because of X, Y, you start explaining, and before you look, you find credible story to tell.
Yeah, so,
but they don't even have that kind of conversation among themselves.
They do. Look, I follow these people somehow closely. What they're counting on here is that the government has done enormous work, and they always say, yeah, they agree there are challenges. They talk about education. Education to run to the University of Liberia, the government have made tuition free at the tertiary level, and wax is free. These are the development the counting on that the president is doing. The role in for connectivities in the country. But my question that I come back to ask is that all these things you say you're doing, I will give it to you people. For the accuracy, I will give it to you people. But my question here to them is that what is the direct foreign investment today in Liberia that one can count on to send the being in power for 4 years? For example, what am I saying? Why the era, the private sector job that this government is creating? Because you say you're building the roads, good. You say you're building the hospital, good. Tuition free, good. But how would these people sustain, maintain their children going to school, going to hospital when there are no jobs? So what is the human capacity that you are building? The human resources that you are building, where is it? These people, that's why they will not come on some of the platform like us, because they have to tell the Liberian people, 4 years, how many private sector jobs have you created? How many companies?
Mr. George, I hate to tell you, Samuel Twe come on a platform. There's no question you're going to post to Samuel Twe that he will be unable to answer.
It level the audience.
Well, that's fine. I agree. Listen, I agree. You bring Jefferson Kochi on this platform.
Mr. Twe, Samuel Twe cannot come on this platform. And
yeah, I agree. If you bring Jefferson Kochi on this platform, Jefferson Kochi, one of the things you will notice about these platforms that we run, when people go on certain platform, the way they are being approached will make them to follow exactly the rule of that platform. Jefferson Kochi comes on a platform and he will be truthful. He will tell us the challenges they're facing. You take Jefferson Kochi on a different platform, they're trying to be like a praise singer. Jefferson Kochi will not even talk about the challenges. He will talk about what the government is doing and how good the government is behaving. So I understand that, but the point that I'm trying to make is each one of these people, Jefferson, Honorable Kochi, Honorable McGill, Honorable Twe, they have the ability to explain themselves effectively on any platform if they want to do that.
Oh yeah, they have the ability. But the fact that the truth is what people need from the leaders. And I might be wrong, and that's my basic argument. I always say that we must hold these people up to. You say you're building roads. Today, the University of Liberia student was in the street again demonstrating and teacher salaries. Teacher must go back to classroom. Now, you're telling us that the government is doing everything good. But these are some of the problems we're talking about.
Okay.
You pay tuition. Teacher cannot go to school. Why teacher are not in classes? Moravia is not Liberia. You go to the rural area and see the school's condition. Then you will get to know what the people are seeing, what the policy effect on the people of Liberia.
Right. Okay. All right, but Josh, I think we'll bring this show to an end. I think, folks, those of you that are watching, I think you're most likely kind of surprised tonight to see the liberal progressive and the center right trying to do this kumbaya here tonight. I'm surprised myself, and I know why. Because the far right, Mr. So, is not with us tonight, and the CDC professor is not with us. So I think the center right and myself, we have no choice but to have some sort of a kumbaya here tonight. So, Mr. Josh, I want to thank you very much for the spirited conversation here tonight again. I think we have demonstrated to our viewers that we have the ability to disagree, but we will do so with respect. And I think this is what many Liberian platforms perhaps need to follow. You do not have to agree with them, but you have to be truthful. You do not have to agree with them, but you have to be respectful when they appear on your show. There's no reason for anybody to go gutter on each other, especially, Mr. Josh, I would say. These platforms are not a courthouse, and many of us are now lawyers. For you to try to bring in accusation with no proof, no evidence, but yesterday we throw them around. So, Mr. Josh, I want to thank you very much, and I will say good night to you as well. Is there any parting statement here you want to make before we take leave of you, sir?
Yes, I always want to admonish our people. Tough times don't last forever. At the end of the day, we all are in it together, and we'll get through it together. We should just learn to respect one another, even though we disagree with each other. But let's have that little decency for the country before I say ourselves. Because remember, you are outside, you are seeing all these things. Tomorrow you will be inside, and not then you'll be at the receiving end. Watch out. Our children, you don't know which one of the children will be sitting with you one day, and something will pop on the TV, and someone will rain profanity on you. And that child will ask you, Daddy, why? What did you do? And you only lie to them. Oh, those people don't like me. But you will not tell them what you did to other people in the past that are coming back to haunt you. So let us be a little bit careful. Choose now.
Again, folks, that's the voice of Mr. Amos George, who is a senior analyst of Liberia Public Radio here, and his contribution here tonight is just wonderful. Mr. George, I want to thank you very much. Well, let's try to do it again Wednesday. Hopefully, Mr. So will be here with us, and then we're going to have a spirited conversation. But like I said, whether you bring Mr. So, you bring the CDC professor, and even you, Mr. George, I am here as a counterweight, the liberal counterweight to both you. Your five.
Action start by tonight. So
yeah. He's still writing here. He's Mr. To. I can debate with you on engineering issue, but I can debate anyone on Liberian economy. I would like to take him on because I am a PhD in what is it, economy or economic or whatever. That's how much I know. That's how much I.
Yeah, you'll be discussing the economics. Young man, look, he's the best man who got on your show. He
yeah. All right, Mr. John, thank you very much, sir, and I'll say good night to you.
Okay, sir.
Again, folks, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again tonight. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you. Please join us again this coming Wednesday. Folks, what we try to do here is not to degrade. Far from it. Mr. Honorable McGill, Honorable Toy, Honorable Kochi, if you guys want to give us a call here and try to appear on this show, we'll be happy to have you. Don't worry, you come on these type, especially Liberian Public Radio. You are protected, fully protected. We're not going to disagree. We're not going to agree with you. We'll disagree with you, but we're not going to degrade you. Because this is, let's just take, for example, if I was successful in bringing Armo Koji and I tried to be disrespectful to, you think Armo Koji would want to even have a serious conversation with me? No, he will be on defense. And once you put him on defense, you're getting nothing out of him. And the idea of this platform is for our brothers and sisters to get some information, for people to enlighten them of what is happening in Liberia. So I would say, Armo Kochi, Armo Tue, Armo Miguel, please, if you care, give us a call and let's make arrangement for you to be on Liberian Public Radio. We will ask you tough questions. They're not going to be rude, but we're not going to miss the mark either. We will ask tough questions. And one of the things that I do here on Liberian Public Radio, I will bring you on and tell you from the beginning, just from start. If I ask you a question, you say, Mr. Toe, it's none of your business, we move on. If it's none of my business, it's none of my business. Or if you don't care to answer that, just say, I don't care to answer it. And we move on. This is not a courthouse. And I'm not a lawyer having you understand. I'm asking you a question. And the question does not mean that you must answer. No. So please, this is Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Once again, we're hoping that our brother Mr. So will be with us here come Wednesday. He was just tired, folks. He's on assignment, but he's just tired. After, you know, he was in as a MC, LPR MC over the weekend, and there's some lot of talking. And I think he ran out of voice to come and talk. I was waiting because he tired. He can't talk like that. I was going to soaking. But he's smart. He knows very well the liberal are going to soak him. He said, I'm coming to know. I said, okay. But I want to thank Mr. Josh, and I'm hoping that CDC professor will join. CDC professor smelled this thing here. He knew very well the liberal was coming after them. He knew very well the liberal were coming for the CDC and the three brothers that came over with no sister. He knew very well CDC. He knew he's a CDC professor, but he knew very well were coming. So he said, it's okay. So all two of them, they ran away from me. Then, of course, the central right came in. And as you could tell tonight, from the beginning, I was here for the fight. But the smart center right said, no, I'm not here to do that. Let's talk. And we have a fruitful conversation here tonight. I want to thank all of you folks that continue to follow us. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments you guys making. And we truly appreciate that. I'll say good night to all of you. Please stay safe out there. The vaccine now is going down to age 5, I believe. So I think we're getting there. If they approve age 5, please take your kids to be vaccinated quickly. One of the things, I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm just running my mouth. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm just running my mouth. One of the things, perhaps, that these things, they will protect you. Maybe not just the disease, but any other disease. Any of the diseases that come, to protect you. Stay safe. Protect yourself. Put a mask on. Where my mask at? My son said, but why you putting a mask on? Nobody here. Well, where my mask at? I can't find my mask. Okay. I got to practice how to wear the mask every day. So when you call Toll Town and Iceland, they said, me, I don't put in a lock on my mouth. When they put out mask, they call it mask lock. I'm putting a lock on my mouth. But anyway, folks, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. It's been a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. And I'll say good night to all of you. Good night, folks.
Jagat na
Dogana wogatu, wogata kwen. Kanjemi, abaya probeto. Wogata kwen. Kanjemi o, kalaga pila. Wogata kwen. Dogana etwa. Wogata kwen. Ewe, etwa. Wogata kwen. Dogana etwa. Wogata kwen. Etwa, dogana etwa. Wogata kwen. De Manuel Dagala Quingal. Oh, you got the way. The way the Mawango. Away, Dagana. Can you be a man for a joy? Magapita. Bamweleka, Guanaga, Abake Mupade. Abaga well a friend of joy. Gangaye, Nabamweleka. My new brother to a cutting Abakeka. Make out the Galaka me. Dogana one, Ogata Bank. Dogana Wogatu, Wogata Bank. Can you be? Abaya probeto. Wogata kwen. Kanjemi o, kalaga pila. Wogata kwen. Dogana etwa. Wogata kwen. Ewe, etwa. Wogata kwen. Nebula chumi. Keke pamola pengarunia be. Anunia pengarunia be. Wogata kwen. Dagana. Wogata kwen. Naitwa. Dagana. Wogata kwen. Nema dagakpa yoyo welai. Meraka mata kwa.